welcome to day 2 of my Mallorca cycling trip. So on today's ride we rode out to a place called Pollença, which is just up the road from Alcudia where we're staying, and then we started climbing up the Coll de Femenia, which is 7.5 kilometers long with an average gradient of 7%. Now this is the first long climb that I've done since the last time I was out here, which was back in September-October 2016. But on that trip I'd just spent 6 weeks out in New Zealand, so I hadn't done much cycling. I was very heavy and consequently my time up all of the climbs was very slow, and actually the whole trip I felt quite tired and a little bit unhealthy, if I was to be honest. But I thought today's ride was going to be interesting, going up the Femina, just to see how I compared to back in 2016. And long story short, my Strava Live segment kicked in down at the bottom, and I decided to go for a PR on the segment, which is the whole 7.5 kilometers. So I just started grinding away up the mountain. And yes, it was tough, but long story short, I climbed the Femina and I beat my PR with by about 2 minutes 40 seconds. So I was really pleased with that.
So Kathy, we've just climbed the Coll de Femenia. What did you think of that?
It's quite tough actually. Goes on quite a long way, but it's nice to have a few descents as you're coming up. It definitely helps. But the views are stunning.
And how do you think you did?
Not very well. No, yeah, it's a bit tougher than last time. Not done it in a while, but...
Well, it's 7.5 kilometres, isn't it? With that 7% average, quite a toughie.
Yeah.
Now, we did plan to do Sacalobra, which is the iconic climb here on Mallorca, but going up the Femina I soon realised that although I was much fitter than I was back in 2016, it was quite an effort going up there, and consequently to get from the top of the Femina to Sacalobra was quite a ride, and then back down into Sacalobra town and then climb the 9.5 kilometres of Sacalobra was going to be a bit beyond me. So a bit of a spoiler alert, I didn't do Sacalobra. Basically my fitness wasn't there, and I think that's another challenge for another day. But having climbed the Coll de Femenia, we went on to the famous little cafe at the top there, and we had some refreshments, and then we pushed on down the Coll de Batala, which is very, very technical. There are some long straights, but there are also some very tight little hairpins, so I took that a little bit gingerly, and that's only the second time I've descended that climb. So the last time was back in 2003, so over 15 years ago, and it was very, very exciting. It was a lovely descent, but the problem with the Batala is that you can't get quite a speed up because of the hairpins. So at the bottom of the Batala we hit the town of Selva, and from there we pushed on to Campanet, and then back into São Pobla, through the marshes, and we absolutely gunned it. The marshes are pan flat, and we had a little bit of a cross tailwind, I think. So my friend Kev was on the front and he just sort of ramped the speed up, and we just sat behind him and just powered it along, and we were averaging about 30 kilometers an hour. So we got back to Alcudia and we were feeling pretty pleased with ourselves. Like I say, I did get to the top of the Femina with a very respectable PR, and my fitness is definitely much better than it has been over the past year or so. I'm also about 6 kilos lighter than I was back in January, so that's all in my favour, and I'm just looking forward to building on that and doing some longer rides out here, and just generally having a fantastic ride. So if you're training for a particular event, please tell me all about it in the comments below. If you found this film useful, please like and share. And if you'd like to get the most out of your cycling, please consider subscribing for my regular weekly uploads. Thanks for watching.